Exterior. John Betjeman said of Bristol that we were the only city which had a railway station that looked like a cathedral and a cathedral that looked like a railway station. And that's the cathedral involved. Triple Tower, which is Princess Victoria Street, recording the fact that the young Victoria, before she became Queen, stayed up here as a girl of 11, stayed on in a hotel in Miles. Slate rears, sometimes known as Queen Anne, Mary Anne, with the Queen around the front and Mary Anne the servant girl around the back. Bath at 1790, at a time when they would have needed lots of storage for their coal as well. On the other side, the miniature Gothic of the Buckingham Baptist Chapel, classically styled Buckingham Place, many Temple Society. Back in 1840, people like Oscar Wilde, Charles Dickens would give the murder of Nancy. The death of Little Nell, obviously at the Royal West of England Academy of Art, which is still very much the centre of artistic life in Bristol. It was founded in the 1850s, it's still got its School of Art, still got a gallery there. Brown's restaurant. Originally our city museum, designed to look like the Doge's Palace in Venice. It was bombed in the war, and the museum moved next door then to join the art gallery, where it still remains. Now, towering above us, the Wills Memorial Building, the headquarters of the university, the last major piece of Gothic to be built in the country, 1926, when it opened. St George, the bell there, which is the 6th largest bell in the country. It rings out the midday hour. We give you earplugs. The university, the money in its full state in 1909. Here down Park Street, said to be the steepest major shopping street in the British Isles. If you've ever walked up it, you'll probably know this street. House from the 1790s, again curated by the museum. Opens on the art market. And this is one of his original Bristol pieces. A gentleman escaping from an enraged husband. It's on the walls of our sexual diseases clinic. There's actually a photograph in the paper earlier this year of a gentleman escaping from a brothel in Shanghai, and it was a virtual recreation of that. It was really life imitating art. Banksy rumoured to have gone to Bristol, hired a new Western Tower, and most of the nave was rebuilt. So an element of competition with Sir Mary Redcliffe, because Sir Mary Redcliffe had no steeple from the 15th to the 19th century. Once they started the nave here, again was once on College Green, but was removed when they changed the level of the of College Green. Come straight out back onto the waterfront. Constructed in 1912, one of Frank Matcham's great theatres. It's got the second largest stage in the country after the big tatty inside. Started his career. And over to our right, the statue of Edward Colston, a hugely controversial figure in Bristol these days. He was a huge benefactor to the city. He gave most of his fortune to the city on his death, and he'd already founded almshouses and schools and various other charities, many of which still exist. But when Bristol started to look at its involvement in the slave trade, studies started about 20 years ago in detail, they discovered that Colston had been a director of the Royal Africa Company, which was the main slaving organisation in the 17th century. And that connection with slavery has led to all sorts of calls for the statue to be pulled down and various buildings named after Colston and streets. And the old St John on the Wall over the top of the old town gate. going up into the old city there. The last of our medieval town gates, and the old medieval water conduit right at the end there. And the street art all the way along here. That's where they're...
I won!
This piece just behind us here, very recent, that's been done about a month ago. Merchant almshouses here, used as almshouses up until last year, I think from the end of the 17th century. And the public library here, which became the Cathay Rendezvous a few years ago, ceased to be a library in 1906 when it moved to College Green. But on either side here, these buildings, from when the street was first laid out on the old city marshes back in the 1650s, 1660s, named King Street after Charles II at the Restoration, here during the post-war period. And the Landager Trow here, the old Duke on the other side. The Landager Trow, dating from the 1660s and named after a flat-bottomed boat, a trow, which would have come down from Llandogo on the River Wye. There's a story that Alexander Selkirk met Daniel Defoe there and gave Bristol. The original town ended where the line of shops is now, and along this road ran the River Frome up until the 13th century. It was diverted to make the, years ago, the earliest evidence of Bristol are coins from the beginning of the millennium. The interior has survived. The Red Cliff is honeycombed with man-made caves where they extracted the red sandstone to use in Bristol's glass industry. Another major industry in Bristol at one time. And the hole in the wall said to be the inspiration for the spyglass inn in Treasure Island where Long John Silver first appears. Again, it was a Burnley inn, so take that story for what it's worth. And Harbour side, oh, a lovely evening like this, a great place to wander around. Hope you enjoy the rest of your stay in the city, and I hope the good weather continues.